Hello everyone. Well, quiet weather today and tonight in southern Wisconsin, but unfortunately for tomorrow, another wintry mess coming back. But let's start with the good news first, and that's the dry conditions today. Although today is going to be colder than yesterday, but not crazy cold by any means. In fact, this is right where we should be for this time of year. Average high temperatures in southern Wisconsin are going to be in the upper 30s, and that's right where we should be. March 2nd. Some might get stuck in the mid 30s. Others, though, might reach the low 40s. I think upper 30s are going to be most common. And though today is going to be colder than yesterday, the good news is today, not much wind. Winds no more than 10 miles per hour, so no wind chill factor to worry about. Now, it's going to be one of those days where it looks like it's going to rain because it's going to be a real cloudy day, but actually no rain or snow coming down. And I do think there's going to be a gradual breakup in the cloud cover. They're going to try and break up from west to east. So I think by the late afternoon, most of us will see a few peaks of sunshine, maybe a little bit more in the western part of the area, but I do want to stress most of the day pretty cloudy. I don't think it'll be probably until the late afternoon that we start to see a few peaks of sunshine. And then this evening, a few gaps in the cloud cover, but it's going to be short-lived. I think we're going to eventually go back to completely overcast skies. And I do think the winds will pick up a little bit as we go through the night, but most of the night still winds 10, 15 miles per hour. And low temperatures are going to range from the mid-20s to the low 30s tonight, most of us in the upper 20s. Now we're jumping ahead to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and notice it is completely cloudy again in southern Wisconsin. And also by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, I got to call it breezy. Gusts are going to be around 20 miles per hour, and I think the winds are going to continue to pick up as we go through the morning hours. Also, I think it's about 7 a.m. and precipitation comes back to the most southern part of the area. And it really does look like for the early morning hours tomorrow, it is going to be isolated activity. And though it could be rain or snow, I will say in the early morning hours, it's most likely going to be snow, since this is when we're going to have our coldest temperatures. Let's jump ahead now to lunchtime, though. Now we're taking a look at 11 a.m., and now we're talking about scattered rain and snow showers. I will say, I think at 11 a.m. probably still a little bit more on the snow side than the rain side, but more rain starting to show up. Also, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, by this point, gotta call it windy. Gusts 30, 35 miles per hour. Now, the most widespread activity does look to be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but the biggest question we still have right now is how warm are we going to get? I'm showing you one model here showing low 40s to the west, but mid 30s to the east. And there's some models that are a little bit warmer than this, and there's some models that are a little bit colder than this. And that's important because that is going to dictate how much rain is going to be coming down versus how much snow. Now, the reason I'm showing this model is it's showing colder temperatures to the east and warmer temperatures to the west, and that's what all the models are showing. They just have varying opinions about how warm exactly it's going to get. So I will say there could be quite a bit of rain mixing in the central and western part of the area, and it's still a possibility closer to the lake as well, though looking a little bit snowier, maybe not warming up as much in the eastern part of the area. So this is when we're going to be hitting our high temperatures tomorrow, so it's the big question that we still need to iron out is exactly how warm does it get. If Madison stays in the mid-30s, for example, mid-30s means snow is more likely, and upper 30s is the true transition. But if it's in the low 40s, it's probably mostly going to be rain. Still windy, we know that for sure, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And I do think this is the peak in the activity, a period where it's going to be widespread. We jump ahead to 7 o'clock Friday evening. I know this is Friday evening plans, and notice backing off. Now we're transitioning back to just those scattered, mostly snow showers now, though, because temperatures again coming down. Now it could still be a rain-snow mix, but probably leaning more on the snow side. And then I do expect pretty rapid improvement after 7 o'clock, just less and less activity coming to an end from west to east. And I think the last of the isolated snow showers coming to an end by 1 a.m., even in the eastern part of the area. And now, no longer windy with precipitation coming to an end, but still on the breezy side, guess 20, 25 miles per hour. So again, because of the variation in the models about exactly how warm or how cold we're going to be, we'll talk about snow totals, but again, we're still in that frustrating zone where There's a lot of uncertainty still, particularly in the southeastern part of the area. And I'm showing you what the models are ranging right now. Notice that for a lot of us, central and western part of the area, there's some models saying as little as a dusting. That is a possibility for Madison, Monroe, Portage, Beaver Dam. There are models saying that. Meanwhile, if it stays a little bit colder, if temperatures are more in the mid-30s, then it is still a possibility that some in the central and western part of the area could see as much as 2 inches. So totals around 1 inch look most likely right now. But then look at the very tight gradient that we're talking about in the southeastern part of the area. Right now, the model's ranging from 1 to 3 inches for Watertown and Janesville, 2 to 4 inches for Lake Geneva, but then 3 to 5 inches for Racine, and 4 to 6 inches is the model range right now for Kenosha. Now, I do have to stress, in the southeastern part of the area, though, I don't expect much fluctuation in this range for the central and western part of the area. It's not going to take much of a change in temperatures for this very tight gradient in the southeast to change a little bit. So the greatest forecast uncertainty is in the southeastern part of the area. But this is where things stand right now. As we usually say, look for an update tomorrow morning.